How to motivate yourself by yourself on your own without the help of anybody else, except me right now eventually on video, but usually by yourself when you are alone. It is kind of a challenging question because as of today more and more people are working from home, have trouble to articulate their day schedule, what do they need to prioritize, how do they need to organize themselves to get things done in the right way, to get productive and consistent on the right areas of their life. This is a very important matter. So the main technique I have been using over the years for motivation skills had led to some kind of modalities shifting, but I would like to give you a process here that you can use for literally anything you want to motivate yourself about. The first thing is that usually when you have a project, let's say building a business or building your coaching practice, stuff like that, it is pretty common in people into NLP. Let's say you have this big project and quite often what's going to happen is that you are aiming for way too high or way too far into the distance, and therefore you're procrastinating because the steps are confusing. And it is quite normal. The steps are confusing for your biggest project because you are aiming so high into the distance, so far away in the distance, in the future, that actually many steps to get to that big point in the future cannot be known by your conscious mind because you don't have enough information yet on what is going to build up all the foundations in order to get there to this big massive goal you have over there. So people tend to procrastinate and migrate between different things because they are not clear on what is the main thing. There is only this thing to do right now, shut up, do this one, and that's all. People procrastinate because they don't have this clarity. They are like, maybe this, maybe that, I'm not sure, maybe this one, or they have done something in the past and it failed and now they are not confident anymore about doing it again. Stuff like that. No matter what it is about, the beginning of this process is to cut down into 5 easy things. This main thing you have in your head right now, even if it is something that could be done by tomorrow, it is nothing too complex, but you're still frustrated or scared about actually taking the action. If you had to actually break it down into 5 easy concrete steps. For example, somebody who might need at work to get to do some public speaking tomorrow. As of tomorrow, you have a meeting in the meeting room and you're not really sure of yourself, to not say you are deadly scared about it because you don't want to appear in front of your colleagues and make a mistake or during the presentation, stuff like that. Or somebody who would like to approach a girl he likes and is so scared about it. Those things, what is really relevant is to cut them down into 5 easy and concrete steps. For example, for the public speaking, you could imagine that you are going to first memorize all your text, or not even all the text, but all the bullet points, the main bullet points, and you are going to memorize them. The first step is only that. It's not yet about talking stuff. First, memorize the bullet points. If you focus your attention on just this one easy step, actually the whole thing seems already a bit less draining. Then the second step out of this process is going to be about how to breathe properly, especially when we are doing some kind of public speaking. The tempo or the structure of your stance of your voice has some immense importance in front of the people you are speaking to. So breathing is going to be the second step. Breathing properly, putting your hands, for example, here on the sides, and just when you are breathing in, imagining you are really pushing your hands on the side, something like that. Very easy, just you are training yourself to breathe properly. Step number 3, the eye contact. I'm just practicing the eye contact with people in the room. Step number 4, what is the first line? The very first introduction line. And step number 5, let's say I start to switch on the screen and I start to talk and like elaborate on this diagram or whatever is on the wall. So if you break this, I have to talk tomorrow to the office, into those 5 steps, actually, it looks way less draining by then. So the first thing about this process is to cut down into 5 easy and concrete steps the thing you are really scared about. Then, the first one, the very first the first step into this whole process. You are going to use sub-modalities with that one, and the way I like to trick my brain about this is this first initial step that will create the momentum into your actions to get to where you want to go. This first step, you are going to take an image of it, an image of yourself doing it, or Even if you're still scared and unsure about are you going to be able to do it. Anyway, just get the first picture that comes into your mind when you think about this first very important step. And you are going to notice that picture and then think about something you have already achieved. Something you have already achieved long ago or recently, but something that was challenging at some point for you. You have been scared about it, you were not sure of being able to do it or accomplish it, and however, you have still done it by whatever means, maybe you were just lucky, whatever, but you have done it in the past. You are going to compare those two pictures. On one side of your mental screen, when you think about it, you have a picture, an image, or some feeling in your body of the thing you have been able to accomplish, and somewhere else, maybe in your chest, maybe in the spinning in your head, or maybe like your throat is being constricted and you can barely breathe because you're so stressed. Just when something is happening in your body or in your mind's eye when you look at this picture, something about the thing you have to do. The thing that is the first step to get to where you want to go. This thing you want to do, which may be more like draining and scary and difficult to think about because it is so scary, like you don't know what to do, you are going to stick that picture into the location of the one you have already achieved. And in the back of your head, it is going to create some unconscious shift. It is going to rewire your neurology and create a new neural pathway to make you notice the easiest way of doing that one thing you need to do right now. The first action you need to take to get to where you want to go. This is just a small way of tricking your brain into seeing the one thing you are scared about under a new light, into a new perspective, in a much more reassuring or less frightening way, softening the feeling you may get from that first difficult thing. Then you have this new picture in mind, the picture of the thing you want to do, the thing you need to do with the exact same colors, location in space when you close your eyes and see where it is, the same location in space, the same lightning in the picture, all of those sub-modalities, and you can look into it if you don't know what it is, sub-modalities. You just stick the sub-modalities of something you have already achieved and that was challenging at some point with the sub-modalities of that thing you need to do in the next future, in the very near future, and then you are going to notice how does that change your perspective about the things you need to do, or about how scared you thought you were about that thing. Now you are going to take action. You are going to go do that one thing, and from there jump on the next one. Once you have the momentum built up, it is so much easier to get to the next one and the next one and the next one. But if you just stay where you are doing nothing and waiting and stressing about I will never get this, I will never, and having some negative inner dialogue in your head, for sure it is draining and you just stay where you are forever. So this way, this method is to trick your brain to taking the action in the right way at the right time, and it creates a habit. It is going to create an encore by itself. If you have done that like 10 times, 15 times over the past month, guess what? It is going to create a self-encore in your head by itself. And from now, whenever you will have something you're scared about doing, you will have some new neural pathway freshly wired in your brain to actually transform this into something that is less constraining. Maybe not completely not scary at all, because it might still be challenging, it might still be, confusing a bit or scary a bit because it is new, it is unseen territories, but at least softening the pressure and the fear you have about doing that thing. And from there, you are going to do it way more easily, and the whole momentum is going to build up and you will get where you want to go.